Hello, this is Ariana Antonio for Mobile Game Development 1411, and this is my week 1 project. So really quick, I'll just show you, this is my game. It's called Saving Sebastian, and this is just the launch screen, even though it's not anything official. By the end, this will be a little bit nicer looking. So we can go ahead and click play, and there's, I don't know if you probably couldn't quite hear it very well, but there's a sound of the bear roaring. So what it's going to be once it's all working is that the river is going to be pulling the fish downwards towards the bear. And obviously you don't want to get down where the bear is because then you'll get eaten. And so the player will have to tap on the fish in order to keep the fish Sebastian upriver, away from the bear. And so there's also a sound effect when you tap him. That's like a water droplet. And I'm not sure 100% if I'm going to be able to figure out exactly how to add this functionality, but I do want to have a possible added feature be that logs come down the river as obstacles and you have to swipe to the left or the right to block them. So those will be different collision events with the bear and with the log will kill you. And then I'll have to set up collisions to make sure that you don't go off of, bounding collisions, so you don't go off of the screen at any point. And I'm not sure what's going on with the bars, if that's something that has to be there in Sprite Builder. I'm not exactly sure, and this is a little off-skewed, so I still need to play with the layout a bit and see if I can fix that at all. So I went with Coco's 2D. Some of the reasons I chose it are one of my favorite games, Badlands, was created on it. The actual layout with Sprite Builder in here is very similar to Xcode, and I'm a Mac iOS developer at work, so I'm very familiar with Xcode and with Objective-C. So it made it kind of naturally easier for me to transition to something like this. And there's great tutorials, at least on the Sprite Builder website. It was like the creating sort of an Angry Birds type game was done in like 6 minutes. So that was a really great tutorial and introduction, as well as the Flappy Birds tutorial that they have. Also, is going to be helping a lot with in terms of working with gravity and collisions and that sort of stuff. So that was made it a lot easier. There's not as much documentation in terms of from users and like forums and that sort of thing, like just kind of online help. So that's a con. And then from looking at reviews, it's a little less reliable across devices as opposed to the Android library. So the pros for the Android library, one, Ingress is made on it, and that's a really great, sophisticated game. It's got a lot more documentation from people in forums and that sort of thing. It's been around a bit longer. And there's lots of good demo games that you can look at to figure out how to build yours. A con is it uses Java. I'm just much more proficient at Objective-C than Java. And some of the reviews I was reading said it had slightly, not that much, but slightly slower performance than Coco's 2D. So I ultimately went with this one, mostly because of my familiarity with Objective-C and Xcode. So let's see what was great this week. I really liked this little Sprite Builder thing. I still need to learn a little bit of the functionality and obviously how to align things better in the actual app. But it was really great. Drag and drop, it felt a lot like I was just using the interface in Xcode. So that was great, and that made it a lot easier, and just being able to add physics to things and that sort of thing. And as you can see here, if we look at these guys, there's pink squares around them as they all have the actual physics set up for them. So that when they collide, there will be events. So if he just goes down here, that will trigger a collision. And what I found challenging, obviously I still couldn't quite get everything to line up properly. I'm not entirely sure if I have all the proper collision events in here. I'm a little intimidated about when I have to actually start adding the collision events in this week. But I mean, there's good documentation, but I'll probably still end up having to ask for help at some point this week. And in terms of clarification, again, I just wasn't really sure 100% the requirements for the collision for this week. But hopefully, having this set up as well as in the code, I have the fish and the bear and the log set up as whether or not the fish is the hero and the other two are levels, and then obviously the borders of the river will also be levels, so that the main collision is coming when this collides with anything around it. So I have a lot of the collision stuff set up just basically this week I'll have to actually start animating my fish and making him go downriver and making him go upriver when you tap so that he can actually collide with some things and fire off those events. And so I think that's it for this week. Looking forward to making this bad boy work. Thanks. Bye.